Hi everybody, welcome to a new tutorial on NuRack. In this video I'd like to show you how, with the latest release of NuRack and the addition of the Midi Recorder plugin, how you can, or module, how you can easily bring your automation, your MIDI automation to a new level. So let's go straight into it. So let's create an audio channel and also a MIDI channel. Let's put something in the audio channel, like an electric piano, like in this case. Nice and simple. Okay, perfect. So let's choose something like chord bud chew. And the reason I'm choosing chord bud chew is because I can create quickly a chord progression, link it to the electric piano, and have something to play in the background. And I'm not paying too much attention to the chord, just to have something running, like so. Okay, enough of that. So let's add NuRack as a MIDI effect. So NuRack, like so. Let's choose the NuRack Midi FX, like so. And let's go inside NuRack. Let's go in edit mode and add, for example, a modulation module like a tremolo. And the reason I'm choosing the tremolo is because it's easy to identify that the tremolo is running. So let's listen. Okay, so far nothing new. We have a tremolo module and we have two dials here, one for speed, one for depth. So let's minimize that window like so. And let's go also inside the builder view, like so. So now let's add a new instance of NuRack as a MIDI processor, like so. Okay, so it is easy to create MIDI mapping using NuRack as a MIDI processor. So let's go inside NuRack and let's go in edit mode, click on the plus sign, MIDI, and let's choose a MIDI mixer, which is primarily used to create MIDI mapping for MIDI messages. And so let's change the zoom like so to make it a little bit smaller. And let's also come out from edit mode. Now if you play nothing and you move these sliders, nothing happens in the moment, because no connection have been made. So first of all, let's establish the right connectivity between the MIDI processor, NuRack as a MIDI processor, and the NuRackFX MIDI. So we go here on the NuRackFX MIDI and we just have that driven by port 1 of the NuRackFX MIDI processor. You notice now that there are 4 ports, is because the new Midi Recorder module has 4 lines. Okay, like so. Now what we are going to do is to create a MIDI mapping between the two. So we are in edit mode, we are in the builder mode, interface builder mode view. Let's click on that dial and let's click on option and select MIDI mapping. Now let's choose learn. You see this has become blue, and let's move this slider back here inside the MIDI processor. As you can see, it has recognized that as being channel 2 and CC value 20. Let's click save. Remember to click save, otherwise it will not register that. So let's come out from this. Let's go to the second dial. Let's go to option, MIDI mapping again. Let's click learn and move now the second dial, like so, and click save. Now click done and let's come out from there. Now let's come out from interface builder mode and also edit view. Let's double click on it to go in presentation mode. Now if I move these sliders, you can see here that the dials will change position as well. And so in this way we are creating a MIDI mapping between the NuRack as a MIDI processor and NuRack as a an effect which is applying a tremolo to this electric piano vintage. And so if we play, we can of course, using the slider here, change the value of speed and depth. This in itself is fantastic in terms of creating a MIDI mapping, but NuRack is going to a different level now, because it has introduced also a MIDI recorder module. So let's keep these up here, and let's introduce another MIDI processor, another NuRack, like so. Let's maximize that. Let's go in edit mode, click on the plus sign, MIDI, and then select MIDI recorder. The MIDI recorder is in itself very straightforward to use. So we have 4 lane where we can record almost like 4 tracks. You select them up here. Okay, when there is something recorded, you see here changing the color. And here you can select to record, play, erase what you record, override, also set it to go through MIDI through. So now for the purpose of this introductory example, so what we are going to do is to link, to create first of all the right connection. So we have this instance of MIDI processor being driven by the second instance, port 1. But we also have this second instance being driven by the first instance, port 1. And you can see there is the circular here, the dotted lines, which is representing, which is going in and out from this MIDI processor. So now let's open this, and so to bring up the view of the MIDI recorder. Now the MIDI recorder will record according to the host sync, so you need to have this active, and also you need to have the record and play button active as well if you want to record and play. So the first thing I'm going to do therefore is select the lane A, make this a little bit more visible, like so. Click record. Now I'm going to click play here, and I'm going to record some movement of these 2 controls, these 2 sliders. Okay, we stop. As you can see, this has gone now green. Okay, so there is some data in there, and also you have the play button which has gone blue. So let's double click on this to enter presentation mode. So now let's put this one here, the MIDI mixer, something up there, and also open up the effect here. Let's click back at the beginning and click play. So as you can see, a new level of automation. So we have used 3 NuRack instances. The first one to apply a tremolo effect to this electric piano. And then we have used a MIDI mixer to map these 2 sliders to the speed and depth dials of the tremolo, so we can control speed and depth of the tremolo using these 2 sliders. And then we have introduced a new MIDI recorder where we have recorded 1 track to record the movement of these 2 sliders. And as you can see, we can start then record a session, for example, in AUM, and having also the automation of the effects played for us automatically. As you can see, you have additional ports here, 1 to 4, and therefore you can extend that to additional instances and to create a very sophisticated MIDI recording automation, which will impact effects and more on your AUM session. So I think you would agree with me, which this new MIDI recorder brings the level of automation to something new, which is fantastic. So thank you, NuRack. As always, see you next time. Bye.